Hello friends, welcome to this video tutorial on EPF, which is otherwise termed as Employee Provident Fund. This video is dedicated to all salary class individuals, job seekers and students who are currently in the race for placement. What makes all you worry about job onboarding process is the deductions which are listed out in your offer letter or payslip. Most of you will look confused about a component called PF, which will eat your take-home salary. Don't worry, PF is not a penalty. PF is a savings. It can become a wealth creation tool as well if you can able to understand this video. The primary objective of this video will be as good as the same. In this video tutorial, we are going to learn what are the categories of Provident Fund in India, what is Employee Provident Fund in general, how EPF is generated, how EPF returns are calculated, and the withdrawal and tax implication on EPF. Out of these 5 titles, the listed 3 titles will be covered along with the case study. Now let us see the categories of Provident Fund in India. The primary categories are statutory, recognized and unrecognized. Statutory Provident Fund is a fund which covers under Provident Fund Act, which is approved by Income Tax Commissioner. It is basically formed by government or semi-government organization. Sometimes it can be formed by educational institution as well. Recognized Provident Fund is a fund which is approved by Income Tax Commissioner. Hence it is called as Recognized Provident Fund. Any employer who employs more than 20 employees is eligible to join this Recognized Provident Fund. The best example would be EPF, which is a Recognized Provident Fund in India. The third category is Unrecognized Provident Fund, which is a fund not approved by Income Tax Commissioner. Hence it is called as Unrecognized Provident Fund. Such contribution towards the Unrecognized Provident Fund is not eligible to claim under Section 80C. And we are also have a fourth category which I have not listed in the slide, which is PPF, which is otherwise known as Public Provident Fund. That particular Provident Fund we will discuss in a separate video in detail. Now let us see a comparative analysis between all types of Provident Fund in India. All type of Provident Fund has 2 contribution. One is employee contribution, other one is employer contribution. PPF is a special Provident Fund since it doesn't carry any role to play by an employer. This PPF account is absolutely opened on the own interest of employee. Statutory fund, where the employee's contribution is eligible under Section 80C and the employer's contribution is completely tax-free. The interest earned on such Provident Fund is exempted from income tax. Under Recognized Provident Fund, the employee's contribution is eligible to claim tax benefit under Section 80C and the employer's contribution is tax-free up to 12% of salary. Beyond 12% of salary contributed by the employer is taxable. The interest earned on such Recognized Provident Fund is eligible for tax exemption if the interest earned in the year is up to 9.5% per annum. Unrecognized Provident Fund, the employee's contribution is not eligible to claim under Section 80C and the employer's contribution is non-taxable. Interest earned on such Provident Fund is also non-taxable. As we have discussed, PPF is a special case across all these category of Provident Fund. PPF is eligible for Section 80C. There is no role for an employer to play in such Provident Fund. The interest earned on Public Provident Fund is exempted from income tax. Across all 4 category of Provident Fund, 3 categories of fund are eligible under Section 80C. But don't forget the maximum limit of 1.5 lakhs under Section 80C, which includes life insurance, mutual funds, Provident Fund and so on and so forth. Employee Provident Fund. Provident Fund is a retirement benefit scheme which is provided by the employer to all its employees. EPF is a compulsory savings for all salaried individuals, and any employee who is salaried is eligible to receive EPF from its own organization. Any employer possessing more than 20 employees is required to register with EPFO. EPFO stands for Employee Provident Fund Organization, which regulates, governs and manages the entire Provident Fund in India. Let us look at an example how the entire structure works. There is an employer and there is an employee. Assume that the employer employs more than 20 employees and you are among the one employee who want to understand the concept of PF. The contribution will be equal from each other, which works out to 12% of the basic salary as per the current law, which forms your PF contribution. This entire structure is managed and monitored by EPFO, which is otherwise known as Employee Provident Fund Organization. Now let us see how EPF is generated. EPF is generated through two different sources. The primary contributor for EPF is employee and the employer. EPF is deducted every month from the salary of the employee. Here the salary denotes basic pay plus dearness allowance. 12% is the present rate at which EPF is deducted from the employee, and the equal contribution comes from the employer as well. The current rate of interest offered by EPF is 8.8% per annum. This rate is subject to change whenever there is an announcement comes from EPFO. As we have seen in the previous slide, there are two contributors towards the EPF. One is employee, other one is employer. Though both contributes equal amount of contribution towards EPF, their structure differs one another. 12% of deduction goes towards EPF from the salary. The equal contribution comes from the employer in different form. Here I have listed the breakup of the same. 3.67% goes towards EPF, 8.33% goes towards EPS, which is otherwise known as Employee Pension Scheme, which is not part of the EPF, and that includes admin charges as well. Hence the employer contribution comes to over and about 12%. Now let us learn how the returns are calculated with EPF. Before understanding the calculation part, let us see the historical returns provided by EPF for last decade. It is quite interesting to note that the highest interest rate offered by EPF in the last 10 years would be 9.5% for the financial year 2010 and 11. The same consecutive year 2011 and 12, the lowest interest rate is offered at 8.25% in the last 10 years. The most interesting part is this happened in the back-to-back financial years. Please note, interest rates are declared by EPFO by taking a proper concern and approval from Ministry of Finance, and the interest rates are subject to change. This is the graphical representation of historical return provided by EPF in the last 10 years. This is for your kind reference. I hope we have brushed up some of the basic concept of Provident Fund. We will also cover these three titles along with the case study in our part 2 video. Stay tuned and stay connected. Thanks for watching this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.